of Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are Minnesota.
Opening game of a 4-game series between the Twins and the visiting Blue Jays tonight on a perfect night for baseball at Target Field in downtown Minneapolis. Hi, everyone. I'm Anthony LaPanta filling in for Dick Bramer tonight because Dick Bramer is pursuing a new career. He's a member of the grounds crew at Target Field tonight, fulfilling a childhood dream. We'll highlight that throughout the night tonight and the hard workers behind the scenes that make this playing surface one of the best in baseball. Welcome inside the Target Field press box with Bert Blylev, and I'm Anthony LaPanta. Part of the story tonight is the fact that the Blue Jays are in town, but a big part of the story for Minnesota, roster moves that they announced last night after the game against the Angels. Danny Valencia to Rochester and Francisco Liriano to the bullpen.
Yeah, Anthony, some disturbing news for a couple players for the Minnesota Twins. First, Danny Valencia. Well, we all know he's been struggling. No hits in his last 25 at-bats, a batting average that slipped under 200. This guy needs to go down to Rochester, get some at-bats, and the biggest thing is get his confidence back because this guy's still probably in the Twins' future as their third baseman. And for Francisco Liriano, well, 0-5 in ERA over 9. The 7 starts that he had, the 6 starts, were just not the Francisco Liriano that this ball expected this out of spring training. So Liriano shipped to the bullpen. Hopefully he can find himself out there. And, Rick Anderson has really babied Liriano through all those starts. Now he's got to work himself in that bullpen.
Newly recalled P.J. Walters will start in his place on Saturday. We'll talk much more about some of the new faces on this Minnesota roster throughout the broadcast tonight. We'll also be taking a look behind the scenes at the day on the grounds crew for Dick Bramer.
This is the mower that we use to cut the sidelines, the foul territory, and the infield.
is the pride of a team of experts.
I'm Larry DeVito, the head groundskeeper at Target Field.
The turf is their canvas.
Then you get to the little curve here, and that gets a little tougher because you have to really turn your wrists at the right time.
Their artistry a thing of beauty.
I'm Nick Wills. This is my 3rd year on the grounds crew.
I'm Nick Baker. This is my 2nd year on the grounds crew.
From the morning light until well past the final out, the grounds crew at Target Field is on the move, manicuring our very own Field of Dreams.
There's 30 other baseball teams you can compare it to. When you look at the other fields and you see what's wrong with their field, they're going to do the same to yours, so you want it to be as perfect as you can keep it.
In constant pursuit of perfection, theirs is a labor of love.
I'm Dick Bramer, and today I'm the rookie on the grounds crew.
With a new man on the crew, we'll hit the ground running as the Twins and Blue Jays are next on Fox Sports North. Twins and the Blue Jays about set to do battle on Target Field, a finely groomed Target Field under the watchful eye of head groundskeeper Larry DeVito, and today his crew grew by one as Dick Bramer fulfilled a childhood dream by joining the grounds crew here at Target Field tonight. Dick, we're just a couple of minutes away from first pitch, but you're about 10 hours into your day so far. What's it been like?
Well, it's been a lot of fun. I've done a little bit of everything here, starting at 9 o'clock in the morning. I actually helped with the baselines. I've done raking. I've cut the grass. One thing I've concluded, and I knew this going in, that there was, with this grounds crew here, great attention to detail. I did not know how much detail there was. It's amazing, all the things that are done here to get this field ready for play tonight. I asked Larry DeVito about how many man hours are involved from the last pitch last night to the first pitch today, and he said, well, probably around 100. So when you come to the games here at Target Field, or you're watching on television, appreciate what these guys and women do on a nightly basis. It's been a full day of work. It's been a fun day, but these guys and girls do a great job here at Target Field, the best grounds crew in the business.
Been a long day and a day that is far from over. Dick just getting started. He'll be a part of the grounds crew all throughout tonight's game. We'll be checking in with him. First pitch is next.
Fox Sports North is brought to you by your local Northland Ford dealers. Visit your local Northland Ford dealer or go to northlandford.com. By Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. And by Budweiser, official beer of the Thirst Inning. Great times are on deck. Grab some buds.
John Farrell and the Toronto Blue Jays in town for the opening game of a 4-game series against the Minnesota Twins. Farrell in his second season as the manager in Toronto, just over 500. And here's a look at his Menards batting order. Kelly Johnson will lead it off. Yunel Escobar will hit second. Jose Bautista, just 5 home runs so far this year. Edwin Encarnacion, this year's big power threat, with 10. Eric Thames, Lowry, Rasmus, Lind, and J.P. Arancibia round out the Blue Jays batting order.
And Jason Marquis on the mound tonight for the Twins, a right-hander making his 5th start of the year, looking for his 3rd win. Now he's coming off a start in Seattle. He had a nasty sinker. It was so nasty he had a tough time controlling it. He walked 6 in that ball game, which is very unusual for Jason Marquis. When he is on, got to keep that ball down, especially against a very good home run hitting Toronto Blue Jay ball club.
Marquis ready. Kelly Johnson digs in, and we are underway at Target Field. First pitch misses, down and away, ball 1.
Kelly Johnson in his 2nd season with the Blue Jays, off to a good start as a leadoff hitter, hit 7 home runs already and has driven in 18 runs. And that's the problem that he had in Seattle. When he was trying to get that sinker down and away, he was missing away the 6 walks in Seattle. You don't want to do that. Jason Marquis, aggressive with that sinking fastball, but needs to work over the outer half of the plate.
Well hit into right field for a base hit. And the Blue Jays have the leadoff man aboard in the top half of the 1st inning. Our Northland Ford defense for Minnesota. Mastriani makes a start in left field. His Minnesota Twins debut tonight. Span and Komatsu join him in the outfield. Trevor Plouffe, just his 2nd start of the year at 3rd base. Dozier, Casilla, Maurer around the infield. Ryan Domit behind the plate.
You saw Johnson right there. He doesn't want to take a pitch. This Toronto Blue Jay ball club, they like to swing the bat. So you fall behind, they're going to look dead red, and they're going to be swinging.
First pitch misses away, and he's behind Yunel Escobar. Jays known much more for their power than their speed. 6th in the big leagues with 39 home runs as a team this year. And now it's 2-0.
Well, Marquis, when he can get that ball over the plate, he can get some ground ball outs. 8 ground balls outs already in his first 4 starts. But he needs to work ahead in the count.
Two-0 pitch. Over but low, and it's 3-0. You mentioned the 6 walks in his last start. Matched a career high for Marquis. He hadn't had a start in which he had as many walks as innings pitched since April of 2008.
Got to find a way to come back right now. No free passes with the guys in the hole, and there's ball 4.
2 on with nobody out, and Marquis has missed the strike zone with 6 of his first 7 pitches.
Well, the GMC keys to the game for Jason Marquis: establish a way and then go hard inside. You have to get, again, this is a free swinging ball club. You have to get ahead in the count, basically working away, and then throw that sinker in on those right-handers and down and away to left-handers.
Now a very dangerous right-handed hitter in Jose Bautista. 2 on, nobody out for the Blue Jays in the top of the 1st. And Bautista takes a strike.
You know, the Angels just left town, and Albert Pujols does not have the numbers that everybody expects him to have. And even Jose Bautista, the average down, but still 5 home runs, and he's driven in 15.
First time Marquis works ahead in the count, and now 0-2. Bautista with 5 home runs, on pace for 26, which is a far cry from where he's been each of the last 2 years.
Yeah, you see the 43 home runs. That led all of the American League in home runs, and he hit 302, drove in 103 runs. So, yeah, the average is down for Bautista, but he's kind of like Albert Pujols. He gets on that hot streak. Watch out. Bautista right on top of the plate.
0-2 pitch gets away from Domet, and the runners will move into scoring position. And now Bautista has a chance to drive in a couple. Ron Gardenhire was asked about Bautista before the game and cautioned to just let the sleeping dog sleep.
Yeah, that slider getting away from Domet right there, and it'll be a wild pitch charged to Marquis, his first of the year.
Marquis still ahead in the count, 1-2 strikes.
Now you watch these Toronto Blue Jays throughout the series. It's exactly where Bautista stands. A lot of these hitters stand in the same spot.
Got it. Marquis gets a big out in Bautista, and now will face maybe this year's version of Jose Bautista in Edwin Encarnacion.
I remember I said get ahead and then, you know, try to keep that ball down. It's exactly what Marquis does right there. And you saw the way that Domet caught that ball. That's how much it sunk. He kind of put his glove straight down rather than opening it up. So a big strikeout for Jason Marquis.
Still 2 in scoring position, now 1 out, and Encarnacion fouls it away.
Encarnacion having an outstanding year so far. 10 home runs. He's driven in 26 runs. 18 of his 32 hits have gone for extra base hits.
Marquis ready in the 0-1 pitch. Missed away, and there is no appeal. 1 ball, 1 strike. Most frequent home run hitters against the Twins in terms of fewest at-bats per home run. All time, nobody's homered more frequently than Jose Bautista, and Encarnacion not far behind.
And it's a lock and load type of offense that John Farrell has in Toronto. When I mean lock and load, it's basically, you can see where Encarnacion is standing, almost the same place that Bautista is, in back of the box, close to home plate and the catcher, with that little bit of open stance. There's Dwayne Murphy, the hitting coach.
They don't get cheated.
No.
2-1 pitch. Inside, and it's 3-1. Jays not afraid to strike out. They've been one of the higher strikeout teams over the last 3 years. Batting average has not been in the top 20 any of those seasons, but home runs and runs scored have been. Marquis in dangerous territory here, behind 3-1. Walked him. And the bases are loaded with 1 out. Here's a look at some of those offensive numbers for Toronto. And so many times you'll talk about hitters and teams and their approach, and they want to be difficult outs. Look at where the Jays have ranked in team batting average. Bottom third of the league all 3 years. Strikeouts bottom half of the league, but runs and home runs.
That's a big thing right there. They score, you know, probably about 70% of their runs because of the home run. I know they've done that against the Twins, especially over the last 2 years. The Twins are just 4-11 against the Jays over the last 2 years, and the Blue Jays are 6-1 here at Target Field.
Marquis once again behind in the count as he faces Eric Thames. Bases loaded, 1 out.
This is where he could use a ground ball right here. Needs a double play to get out of this inning.
Missed away, and it's 2-0. And nerves starting to increase in the Twins dugout as Hardy and Rick Anderson pace back and forth.
Yeah, 18 pitches, only 5 strikes so far for Marquis.
2-0 pitch. Well hit into left field. Mastriani is there, but it's plenty deep to score the game's first run. Johnson's in, and Toronto has a 1-0 lead. Two walks and a wild pitch helped the Jays set the table, and Eric Thames with his 5th run batted in of the year. 1-0 Blue Jays, and Brett Lowry will hit.
Well, you'd like a ground ball, but you'd also like to stay out of that multi-run inning. So that sacrifice fly right there, bases loaded, 1 out, does score 1, but now this is a big out right here.
Lowry's driven in 15 on the year. Lined into left. It's a base hit. Mastriani comes up throwing. There might be a play. Nope, it'll be cut off by Plouffe. Escobar scores, and Toronto has a 2-0 lead.
Well, Lowry, an exciting young player for the Blue Jays, jumped on that first pitch. Just a 22-year-old former #1 pick by the Brewers, jumped on that fastball middle in. He opened up quickly.
And now Colby Rasmus is the hitter. Arrived in Toronto last year, part of a big 11-player trade with St. Louis. Had a big season for the Cardinals the year before when he had 23 home runs, but it's almost like he's a perfect fit for this Toronto lineup. He struck out 148 times.
And another hitter that's right on top of home plate. So we showed you the right-handers, and the left-handers the same philosophy.
And Marquis now jumps in front. No balls, 2 strikes.
Rasmus, the Cardinals' #1 pick back in 2005, just 25 years old. As you mentioned, last year coming over to Toronto from the Cardinals. Combined, he hit .225, but did hit 14 home runs.
0-2 pitch misses just up. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Marquis, you know, you say, okay, you're not giving me anything up or down. Now, what about that pitch right there? Bill Welke, the home plate umpire.
The at-bat extends. A ball and 2 strikes. Low, and it's 2-2. That pitch up in the zone has caught the attention of the Twins hitters. Joe Vavra, their hitting coach, telling me earlier this week that with the way the umpires are now being evaluated on their strike zones, that he's seen more and more of them giving that high strike. Marquis did not get it here. And now the count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 on, 2 out for Rasmus. To the right side. Mauer has it, and Marquis escapes any further damage, but Toronto scores twice in the first and leads 2-0. First inning. Let's take a look at the Menards batting order for Minnesota. Span, Dozier, and Mauer. Willingham is the DH tonight. Ryan Doman again behind the plate. Trevor Plouffe at third base. Komatsu in right. Darren Mastroianni makes his Twins debut tonight in left, and Alexi Casilla at second base.
Henderson Alvarez on the mound, just a 22-year-old. In his second season with the Blue Jays, Alvarez making his first career start against the Twins, his 17th major league start. He's coming off a 6-hit shutout in Anaheim against the Angels. They won that ball game 4-0. This kid is supposed to have an explosive type sinking fastball, hard slider, and a changeup.
He's been on a nice roll for the Blue Jays. Last 3 starts, a 1.23 ERA. Included in there that shutout in Anaheim. But the interesting numbers from those 3 starts, Bert, 22 innings, only 4 strikeouts and 6 walks.
Yeah, he doesn't walk a lot, and he doesn't strike out a lot so far. He makes the opponent put the ball in play on that good sinking fastball. Comes into this ball game 41 1/3 innings, only 12 strikeouts, but only 10 walks. Has allowed 6 home runs, only 13 earned runs, with a very good 2.83 ERA.
He's ahead of Denard Span. No balls and 2 strikes. Didn't miss by much, 1-2.
Yeah, Twins have found themselves too many times already this year in this type of situation. The opponent scores a couple runs, and seems like the Twins offense, doesn't have the power, say, the Blue Jays have. They have to fight their way to get back into the ball game.
Up the middle, going to be a tough play. Johnson fields but has no throw, and Denard Span has an infield hit. Minnesota has the leadoff man on here in the bottom of the first. Let's take a look at the Northland Ford defense for Toronto. Thames, Rasmussen, Bautista in the outfield. Lowry, Escobar, Johnson, and Lind in the infield. And Alvarez will deal to Aaron Sebia.
Yeah, the Blue Jays have made 28 errors already this year. This is their 32nd game. Only the Baltimore Orioles have made more errors.
Now Brian Dozier, the hitter for Minnesota. Dozier in his 4th game with the Twins, made his major league debut on Monday night against the Angels. 3 hits in 12 at bats so far.
All singles, so Brian would like to get an extra base hit under his belt.
Span with a conservative lead at first base. Dozier grounds one to third. To second for one. The relay to first, to double play. Span erased. 2 out, nobody on for Mauer.
Boy, nice play by Lowry right there. Quick feed over to Johnson at second base. He's playing about even with the bag. And Dozier hitting the ball sharply. Goes to his right. Good strong throw over to Johnson, and a good relay over to first to complete the double play.
Mauer at 278. A homer, 15 runs batted in. Bit of a slump lately, just 4 for his last 28. Starting on the road trip in Anaheim.
Well, you don't see those too often with Joe Mauer, where the third baseman's actually playing shortstop. And you would think with that good fastball in the mid-90s, that sinker, Joe might hit that ball toward that third baseline.
We've seen teams play the shortstop about where Escobar's playing, but I don't remember a third baseman playing this far off the line against Mauer.
Yeah, not for Joe. No, for Justin or somebody like that, yes, but not for Joe, because a lot of his hits do go that way. But maybe they're saying, hard stuff inside, make him try to pull the ball.
Slices this one foul.
And that's where that pitch was, middle in.
2 balls, 2 strikes. When Joe does get hits on the ground, they tend to be more up the middle rather than down the third baseline. Not surprising to see the outfield straight away behind this infield alignment. 2-2 pitch in the dirt, and it's 3-2.
Yeah, that's a changeup right there at 86. Alvarez, like you mentioned, only 22 years old, 6'1", about 210. Signed by the Blue Jays in 2006 out of Venezuela.
Fouled away, and the count holds.
Alvarez came up last year, made some starts for the Blue Jays, just 1-3 in 10 starts, but a very good 3.53 ERA.
Another 3-2. Fouled away once more.
Sometimes with youngsters, we get the media guide, we get to look at their minor league career, and Alvarez, 400 innings pitched in the minor leagues, only 78 walks, almost 300 strikeouts. Well, there's a pitch up and away, and it's a walk to Joe Mauer.
Josh Willingham will get a chance with a man on. Willingham had a home run here last night against the Angels, his 6th of the year. Very impressive numbers for Willingham early this season.
Yeah, Willingham is the only Twins player to have faced Alvarez. That coming last year when Willingham was a member of the Oakland A's. Josh went 1 for 3 against him.
Those numbers we showed you earlier, you saw that his on-base plus slugging up over 1,000, and the note on the bottom that the major league average just over 700. Willingham is 5th best in Major League Baseball in that department. 3rd among American League hitters, trailing only Josh Hamilton and David Ortiz.
Yeah, middle infield shift for Willingham. You can see where the second baseman is. He's playing basically, everybody on the left side of the field, infield.
Willingham takes low, and he's ahead in the count, 2 balls and a strike. Ryan Doumit, who's also been swinging a hot bat, waits on deck for Minnesota. The 2-1 pitch. Fouled away, and the count is even. Lynn not really holding Mauer at first base. Joe has a very short lead. Lynn plays it a little bit like Albert Pujols played it, standing in front of the bag.
But Albert was still over another 4 or 5 feet.
Lynn drifts that way again, and Willingham takes low. Now Joe will be running with the pitch as it's 3-2.
Tim Cheetah doesn't really show, other than just shaking his head, that Willingham did not go. Tim Cheetah, the crew chief here with the 4 umpires.
The 3-2 pitch to Willingham. Mauer runs, and Willingham fouls it down the left field line.
Alvarez has allowed 6 home runs this year.
Another 3-2 with the runner going. Popped him up. First baseman Lind calling, and he makes the catch. Twins are out in the first. When we return, much more on Dick Bramer on the grounds crew for a day.
Well, the tough part is transitioning the white into the red. That's going to be your toughest part. And that's nice, smooth strokes, just like you're petting a dog.
That was earlier today. Dick Bramer in charge of the TC logo behind the plate.
Boy, I wonder what his other childhood dreams are.
I don't know, but I've got a lot of spots in my backyard that could use some attention if he's really looking for some extra yard work.
Yeah. You know, I thought it was interesting. I painted the entire T and the entire C. I make one little mistake, and that's what they show on TV.
Isn't that something? You did a great job, though, partner.
Has the TC ever been more vivid?
Yes, but you did a great job.
Okay, thank you.
Rocketed to first. Maurer handles the tough hop, and Lind is retired. Dick, your day started early today, 9 a.m. You're nearing the 12-hour mark. How's it been so far?
I'm on my third 5-hour energy drink. No, it's been a lot of fun, and I've done a variety of different things here. And as I said before, what's impressed me is the number of different things that need to be done from the end of one game to the start of the next. And it's been a very memorable day here today, one I've enjoyed a great deal.
JP Arancibia, the hitter.
Hey, Dick, I know one thing you mentioned when I saw you earlier today. There's a crew that came in earlier, and then they left, and then a new crew. Right. So you're working overtime.
Yeah, I'll get double pay, I believe, for this because I'm doing a double shift. But I showed up here at 9 o'clock, and I was one of the last guys to show up for the morning crew. I'm very thankful that the weather has been as nice as it's been. Because I haven't had to deal with the tarp. Although Larry DeVito said that after the game tonight we might put the tarp on.
Good, all by yourself. I like it. Sunflower seeds, real quick. Players love to chew sunflower seeds and spit them all over the place.
They're all over the place, and the fans who chew them, some of them end up down on the warning track. They're in the grass, and it's one of the great details. Nuisances for the grounds crew because it seems like they're everywhere in the ballpark.
Bert and I have been praying for rain since we got up here tonight.
Now look, that's my warning track, right? Now I just dragged the warning track and got it nice and neat and clean, and look at it. It's all messed up with sunflower seeds.
Well, a little overtime yet after the ball game.
It'll be perfect. We're going to come out there and check during our post-game instructional, make sure there are no sunflower seeds on the warning track.
Got my tweezers in my pocket.
2 out, the base is empty for the Jays in the second. And here's a fly ball into left center field. Mastriani over. He's there. A quick top of the second for Jason Marquis, and it's still 2-0 Toronto. Jason Marquis, just 8 pitches to get the Blue Jays in order, and now Domit, Plouffe, and Komatsu will hit for Minnesota against Henderson Alvarez. And with the Blue Jays exaggerating their shift even further for Ryan Domit, he tries to push a bunt up the third baseline, but it's fouled.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen a ball club this on every batter. They have this different shift. Second baseman Johnson out in short right field.
Domit takes low, 1 ball, 1 strike, and it's been dramatically different for each of the 3. Willingham played to pull in the infield and the outfield. Mauer straight away in the outfield, and here an extra outfielder for Domit.
Yeah, you saw Brian Butterfield, the third base coach, moving some of his infielders around.
2-1, grounded right back up the middle, and Alvarez snares it for out number 1. We were visiting with Dick Raymer about his battle against the sunflower seeds here at Target Field. He's been patrolling.
Don't be spitting seeds on my warning track now.
Pretty serious about that.
Well, he's losing. Apparently he needed to increase the consequences for the fans.
Look, a normal defense for Trevor Plouffe. Everybody's playing their own position.
Plouffe takes a strike. I'm mildly surprised how they play him in the outfield. They have their center fielder Colby Rasmus slightly over into right center for a guy who has done much of his damage down the left field line. Here he hits one foul.
I think, Anthony, again, when you have a guy, a pitcher on the mound that's throwing in the mid-90s, you know, if he makes good contact, he'll probably more hit it to right center than he would maybe to left center. That's what they're thinking with Alvarez, the hard thrower on the mound.
Ground ball to the left side. Lowry throws him out. Fox Saturday Baseball returns this week when Starlin Castro and the Cubs head to Milwaukee, take on Ryan Braun and the Brewers in a showdown between NL Central rivals. Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by Chevrolet, returns this week at 11:30 Central, following MLB Player Poll, which airs at a special time. Two out, nobody on for Minnesota, and Eric Komatsu is the hitter.
You'll see a lot of new faces for the Twins so far this year. Komatsu coming over on waivers. Excuse me, Rule 5 pickup. Just 2 hits and 16 at-bats.
Alvarez throws low. Skips away from Lind. And Komatsu hustles into second. Now he'll try for third, and the throw is in time.
A young mistake right there. Did not pick up Steve Little as he got to second base.
Still 2-0 Toronto.
Fox Sports North is brought to you by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. By CenturyLink, a different kind of communications company. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Grand Casino, the best stories start here.
2 in the first for Toronto tonight, and they lead the Twins 2-0 as we move into the third inning. Escobar, Bautista, and Encarnacion, the 2-3-4 hitters for Toronto. Eric Komatsu in the middle of the action in the bottom of the second inning after a bunt single, a throwing error. He tried to stretch it to third base and was gunned down for the final out of the inning.
Yeah, young mistake right there. We'll show you here in a little bit what the mistake was. But as far as I know, when you're rounding first going to second, you do not have eyes in the back of your head. You have to pick up your third base coach. And that's one thing that Komatsu did not do.
2 balls and a strike. Escobar walked and scored in the first inning. Komatsu trying to get something started for Minnesota in the bottom of the inning. It was with 2 out. And he got the bunt and the throwing error that allowed him to reach scoring position. But there's a reason why. The old saying in baseball is don't make the third out at third base.
Yeah, let's take a look at this pitch right here. A little bit low, but Bill Welke calls it a strike, and Escobar did not like that.
Inside, and the count is full.
2 walks in that first inning hurt Jason Marquis. Escobar, one of those walks.
Little tapper. Marquis hustles after it, throws, and didn't get it. And it's an infield hit for Escobar. Let's go back to the bottom of the second and look at Komatsu's bunt.
Well, this is almost the same place that Alvarez had to field this bunt, and he tried to do right there, just throw it. You see where it got by Lind. Now right there, he's got to pick up Steve Little. He hung around second base, and that little bit of hesitation allowed a great throw by Bautista to Lowry to tag him out.
Bautista struck out his first time, 0 for 1. Hammered down the left field line, but foul. Many times you'll hear people talk about that if you're going to bunt for a hit with 2 out, you better be willing to steal second base. And Komatsu essentially got that
right
with the throwing error. But the big mistake, whether out or safe, it's not worth that risk going to third base. You're already in scoring position for the next inning.
Right, but if he picked up Steve Little right away, he would have made it easily to third base if he had not slowed down around second base. Good fastball inside. Bautista saying that he got his jersey. Bill Welke saying no.
John Farrell's asking the same question.
Well, hard to tell. This is
well, that tells you a little bit about Bautista at the plate, because the last couple of years when he was averaging 45 home runs, he had not been asking for a free base.
No, you could hit him in the ribs and he'd still want to hit.
1-1 pitch.
Oh, that got him. No doubt about that.
And now Bill Welke's calling it a foul ball. The sound was different than hitting his ribs. Now the Twins have been determined to pitch Bautista inside.
Well, you have to. Bautista likes to open up quickly, so if you go inside, you have to go hard in and then away. Welke now talking to all the umpires, seeing if they saw something that maybe he didn't, and they're going to give him first base.
And now let's see if this initiates a conversation with Ron Gardner. It doesn't appear that he'll argue.
Oh, Gardy, I don't think really has anything to argue about. Sure looked like he hit Bautista. There's not a swing involved. You see Bautista trying to get out of the way.
They're not even close.
No.
And what, if I could read Bill Welke's lips correctly, what I thought I heard him or saw him say was it hit the bat first. And this clearly did not hit the bat.
No, it did not.
There's no question it was not a swing. So Bautista hit by a pitch, perhaps twice in the same plate appearance. 2 on, nobody out for Edwin Encarnacion, who walked his first time up. Started to mention earlier, Bert, Bautista not quite on the pace that he's been the last 2 years. This guy might be this year's version of Bautista. Hit 13, 21, and 17 home runs the last 3 seasons respectively, and already 10 this year. Nice play by Plouffe to second base. They get him, but a run will score as Casilla was slow getting back to his feet.
Oh, what a great job of Brian Butterfield, the third base coach, noticing that throw that Casilla had to kind of stretch out for and then fell. He just kept it. Escobar kept them running. Take a look right here. A shot to Trevor Plouffe that drops him to his knees to throw to second base, and Casilla in the stretch. The out is recorded at second base, but the third run of the ballgame scores.
And Eric Thames is now the hitter.
Encarnacion will be credited with an RBI on that play. Watch right here. Remember I said you pick up your third base coach? He did not slow down.
And Escobar acknowledges him right away.
Right.
Oh, 1 pitch. Fouled on the left field line.
These 3 innings for the Twins have really been a disaster throughout the year. The opponents have now scored 78 runs in the first 3 innings compared to the Twins 31. That's why they find themselves always at this point. That's what we've seen. That's why they're 8-22. The starters have just not been able to put zeros on the board.
Lifted in the air, left field, foul territory, and it's in the seats. Still no balls, 2 strikes. And in this case, maybe even more frustrating, because it's not as though the Blue Jays are hitting bullets off of Marquee. 2 walks and a wild pitch in the first inning were a part of it. Here in the second, an infield hit, a hit batter, and a ground ball to third result in a run. Runner goes, called third strike, and it's a stolen base for Encarnacion. Helmet's throw not close. 2 out, man in scoring position for Brett Lowry. Twins and the Blue Jays get after again tomorrow night here at Target Field. Every Friday is a Lifetime Fitness Friday, brought to you by Lifetime, the healthy way of life company. Any fan with a ticket can get a free 7-day pass at Lifetime. Visit lifetimefitness.com/twins for detail. Call 833-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com to check out pricing and availability for tomorrow night's game. First pitch in for a strike. Nick Blackburn will go tomorrow night for Minnesota against Kyle Drabek for Toronto.
Lowry swinging on that first pitch in his first at bat in the first inning. RBI single. That time Marquee started him off with a slow breaking ball.
Up the middle and by Dozier into center field. Span will have no play. A run scoring single for Lowry, and it's 4-0 Toronto.
Yeah, Lowry picking up his second single, his second RBI of the ball game. 17 on the year. So the stolen base by Encarnacion picks up an RBI for Lowry. Not a bad pitch down, but the ball hit right back up the middle. And Dozier trying to get it to at least knock it down, but Encarnacion scores the second run of the inning.
Colby Rasmus, the hitter, grounded to first his first time up. It's been a dramatic difference inning by inning for Marquis. 25 pitches in the first inning and behind in the count to seemingly every hitter. A very efficient 8-pitch second inning. But now another long one here in the third that has seen him fall behind, and now it's 2-0 against Rasmus.
Yeah, there are the pitches by innings, Anthony. 19 already this inning. Watching Jason sometimes looking in at Bill Welke saying, boy, say the last pitch was a good pitch, but if you're all over the place, that ball gets away from Domet, rolls behind him, and Lowry just keeps running.
Boy, the Blue Jays have been remarkably aggressive on the base paths, and it has led directly to a couple of runs this inning, now to a runner at third base.
Oh, that's a pass ball right there, but you don't want to start playing ugly baseball. Take a look at this pitch right here. It hits the heel of the glove of Domet. He has no idea where it is. He's not going to get any help from Bill Welke. Marquis yelling at him, but too late. Lowry, good base running.
Marquis trying to point, but the ball was directly behind home plate umpire Bill Welke. This ball is lined down the right field line, but well foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two pitch. Line down the left field line. Fair into the corner. And it'll be a run scoring double for Rasmus. Third run of the inning and a 5-0 Toronto lead.
That ground rule double as that ball sliced into the crowd there. So Rasmus picks up his 4th double of the year. Excuse me, 3rd double, driving in his 13th run. Watch the ball hit the turf right there and then into the crowd. Twins got a short start from Carl Pavano last night. 4+ innings.
Low, and Marquis behind 2-0.
Adam Lind did hit in the number 4 spot because of his struggles. John Farrell has moved him down into the 8th spot. Lind, a big part of the offense for the Toronto Blue Jays, off to a slow start average wise. Last year hit 26 home runs for the Blue Jays, hitting .251. Anthony Swarzak starting to loosen up. There's a strike. 3-1.
Twins got a great start on Tuesday night from Scott Diamond. And for a team desperate to string wins together, if there was ever a point where it looked promising, it would have been Diamond got the 7 shutout inning victory, and now Carl Pavano and Jason Marquis slated to go the next 2.
Yeah, there's Scott Diamond in his 7 shutout innings. You saw Alvarez in the Toronto Blue Jay dugout with a towel, just trying to keep that right arm loose. But I'm sure he's happy at what his offense has provided him so far. 5 runs.
To the right side, Mauer has it. Will take it himself. And the inning is over, but Toronto scores 3, leads by 5.
Just wherever there's holes, just start making hex marks. We'll just fill in the holes. You just start hitting it. If you want to imagine it's Bert, you can hit it that way.
Okay.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
Dick Bramer on the grounds crew for a day. He didn't draw a very good likeness of Bert.
No, he had no trouble pounding it, though.
Little number. And the leadoff man retired. Mastroianni's first Twins at bat.
Yeah, not the way he wanted right there. He wanted to hit a line drive right there. And I think it went, what, maybe 2 feet?
Dick Bramer, grounds crew for a day. You're just a part of a crew, however.
That's right. One of my co-workers here, Jared Alley, is with us. And Jared, talk a little bit about your background and how long you've been a groundskeeper.
This is my 13th year working grounds crew for baseball, so I've been around doing it for a while now.
Minor league and major league, and I know you guys take an awful lot of pride in getting this ballpark ready for the fans.
Yeah, we do. We try and do our best and make sure that the field's in good shape and looks good so that the players can do their thing and people can come and enjoy a night out at the ballpark.
Now, most of us enjoyed a very mild winter without a lot of snow, but it allowed you guys to do some things here in the wintertime you might not normally be able to do.
Right. The guys were able to kind of recover all the outfield wall pads and make sure they all look good and take care of any tears and stuff like that. Paint some batting cages and put together some nail drags and some of the tools that we use during the summer here.
Jared, thanks for making this a very memorable day. More importantly, thanks for making this the best ballpark in America.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
We enjoyed it.
All right.
Lexi Casilla lines a base hit into left field. And the Twins have a one-out runner in the third.
Yeah, Casilla missed the last couple ball games. He dove for a ball in Seattle, and his shoulder was a little bit sore, but a good piece of hitting right there. Ball looked like it was down and in, and he just slapped it the other way. Twins get their third hit of the ball game. Good slow motion right there. Good piece of hitting. Good. You can see how he kept his head down and lined it into left field.
Denard Span hits, takes a strike. Span had an infield hit in the first inning. Minnesota has 3 hits in the game. Casillas is the first that has left the infield. Span has been on a roll for Minnesota since a mild slump to start the season. .310 over his last 24 games, and in that time he's had consecutive hitless games only once.
One of the game's best leadoff hitters right here. Takes a lot of pitches. Came into the game hitting .297. Currently at .303. Casilla leading the club with 5 stolen bases in 5 attempts.
Up and away, a ball and 2 strikes. And the Twins, as they have been so many times behind early and somewhat tying the hands of Ron Gardenhire in terms of what he might like to do with his offense.
Yeah, but I think, Anthony, you look at the lineup, there's not a lot of power. So even though you're down by 5 runs, it's still a club that has to rely on stolen bases and going from first to third.
And especially this lineup, you mentioned the lack of power, but it's also a lineup designed to play that way. When you put a guy like Mastriani in there, who once stole 70 bases in the minors, Casilla, Span, Dozier, your 1, 2, 8, 9 players, even Komatsu is hitting 7th tonight.
Those guys are the table setters. They make things happen, and that's why you hope that the middle part of the lineup, if these guys can get on, can drive in some runs. That's the way the Twins have to play right now. With Justin Morneau out of the lineup, it's changed this ball club completely. You need his bat in the lineup, and he says he's still maybe a week away.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Casilla runs and Span slices it foul. Morneau's still a week away. On the other hand, you might say only a week away. Good news, because the way things have gone for him the last few years, it seems like so many cases, injuries that were perceived to be minor turned out to be season ending. And in this case, I think anytime they start talking about a potential return date, it's a good thing.
Twins hope so, yes.
Casilla running again, and Span fouls it down the right field line.
Dozier on deck.
Casilla not going this time, and Span takes away. Now the count full, and I'd imagine we'd see Casilla on the move.
Yeah, again, Alvarez, you know, he's coming in very good ERA, but again, only 12 strikeouts now in 45 innings pitched. So a good chance that Casilla will be taken off. You know, just hope Span doesn't hit a line drive at somebody. There's 1 out in the inning.
Alvarez chases Casilla back to the bag.
Span with 6 doubles on the year, 1 triple.
Casilla goes, and Span takes ball 4 low. 2 on with 1 out. You can submit a question or comment to us online at carsoup.com/baseball. Brian Jones in Rochester wants to know, what time does the grounds crew arrive at the park on game days? Well, it seems like we have the perfect guy to answer the question. Dick, what time does the grounds crew arrive at the ballpark?
Well, I got here about 9 o'clock sharp. I was told to report for duty, and there were members of the grounds crew already here, in part because it's such a beautiful day and the forecast was for a marvelous day. Everybody showed up around 9 o'clock, but if there was a forecast of some rain, they would have shown up here in the neighborhood of 7 o'clock. So it's a full day of work for the guys who do this on a regular basis.
Ah, boy.
The short bobbled. They still get one, but not two, and the throw gets away. Minnesota will get a run. The ball bobbled by Escobar. Then he flipped with the glove in time to force one man. But what should have been an inning-ending double play turns into the game's first run for Minnesota.
Taylor made double play right there, and Escobar kind of bobbled it and then flipped it over to Johnson with his glove. And then Johnson's throw low over to Lind, and the ball getting into the camera wall. I wonder if Dick got that ball. Now take a look right here. Dozier hitting the ball sharply. Hustling down the line, and then the short hop right there got past Lind into the camera well.
It went about 3 feet past my left shoulder, or so I'm told. I was ducking for cover.
Mauer takes low, ball one.
Well, the play is a fielder's choice. That play going 6-4. No RBI for Dozier.
No, an error,
and an error will be charged to Johnson.
And now an RBI opportunity for Mauer, who walked his first time up. 2 balls, no strikes.
You can see Dick down there. Oh, yeah, he's already hiding.
And look at our cameraman. He doesn't even flinch.
Didn't even move.
He's got work to do.
And Dick's behind the screen, and he's hiding.
3-0. And Alvarez being careful with Mauer. The right-handed on right-handed matchup upcoming with Willingham on deck. See if he issues the semi-intentional walk here on 3 balls and no strikes. Three and one. Lexi Casillas started the Minnesota rally here in the third with a single to left. Ground ball right side. And the Twins leave a man in scoring position. They do score 1, and after 3, trail 5-1. Let us know who you think should be the Arby's value player of the game. Text value space player's last name to 234-234. You see that Josh Willingham is the current leader with 37% of your text votes. In the post-game show, Kevin Gorg, Roy Smalley will let you know who you have selected as the Arby's value player of the game.
All right, Jason Marquis needs a good inning right here. Put a 0 on the board.
Good start with a ground ball right at Dozier. Arancibia is out to start the fourth, and Kelly Johnson will bat. Jays with a 5-1 lead. 2 in the first and 3 in the third. Johnson started the first inning rally with a single to right. Blue Jays, known as one of the better offensive clubs in the league, due in large part to their power. Tonight, just 1 extra base hit, but they've been pesky on the base paths. They've been aggressive on the base paths.
Hey, Anthony, we have some guests up here. Lucas, I believe that's you right there. Now, you wrote in because you want to come up here because you said, because I'm 10 years old and I'm handsome. Your family here from Hugo, welcome to the ball game. Welcome to the booth. Enjoy the game. And bring us some luck, okay? We need these guys to get out, and then you stay here and get us some runs. Okay, Lucas? Okay, very good.
And work on your confidence a little bit, will you, Lucas?
He is handsome, though, isn't he?
Absolutely. If you're handsome, you just know it.
Yeah.
Or so I've heard.
Yeah, me too.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Escobar waiting on deck. Toronto hitting in the fourth with a 4-run lead. Popped up, and it will drift into the seats on the third base side.
You know, the Twins signed Jason Marquis. They got a guy that they felt can pitch 200 innings. And I can tell you right now, talking to Jason Marquis, he's not happy at his performance in his last start. Yeah, he took the loss. He only gave up 2 runs in 6 innings, but it's the control that he's not happy with right now. He's throwing way too many pitches in a short amount of time. A guy like Jason Marquis can go through, you know, a 7-8 inning outing, usually between 80 and 90 pitches. In his last outing against the Mariners, he gave up 2 runs in the 6 innings, but 94 pitches. That's too many pitches for a guy that doesn't strike out a lot of guys, that makes them put the ball in play. Usually a ground ball pitcher.
And he's well beyond that pace here tonight. 70 pitches already, and he has just 1 out of the 4th inning.
Yeah, I've seen the same thing here tonight that I did in Seattle, where, you know, a lot of pitches are completely out of the strike zone, not even close. He's missing by, you know, 2 feet, and you can't expect that umpire to give you that corner.
Casilla. Johnson is retired. Well, the grounds crew is working before the game. They're also working during the game. This took place during the last inning break.
Well, that's a big responsibility right there. And Dick hustling off the field. Thumbs up to the crowd.
All right.
And then as soon as he turns his head, they throw their sunflower seeds on the warning track.
And another break for Dick Bramer.
I wonder if the crew is thankful he's on board because they get more breaks today. Escobar, a walk and an infield single. He scored 2 runs. 1 ball, 1 strike. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball. And it's 1-2. Marquis looking for his second 1-2-3 inning of the night.
Yeah, Jason Marquis making his 272nd major league start. He has 106 wins, 99 losses.
Through the middle and a base hit.
Yeah, that slider, what a difference in 2 sliders right there. The previous slider, good location down and away. That one a hanger. And Escobar lines it into center field.
Time for our AT&T trivia question. What visiting player has hit the most home runs here at Target Field?
Maybe Lucas can help us out with that.
Got him perplexed. His crack research team is trying to help him out up here. Bautista takes ball one.
Let's take a look at the slider right here to Escobar. Okay, previous pitch, he threw a really good one down and away. He left that one up. You can see middle in, and Escobar gets his second single.
Fox Tracks brought to you by Window Concepts of Minnesota. 1-0 pitch. 2-0. Bautista hit by a pitch and possibly twice during his last plate appearance. Didn't get the call on the first one. Didn't get the call immediately on the second one. But was eventually given the free base.
Well, Marquis are not missing by much. Took something off it, just a fastball down. Change up at 79.
.30. 4-pitch walk to Bautista.
And the third walk for Marquis.
We've talked about Bautista and his remarkable power surge the last couple of years. Even more impressive when you consider how many plate appearances he's lost to the walk. 133. At his breakout season with 54 home runs in 2010, followed it with 43 last year. And now Marquis has put him on base for the hottest hitter in the Toronto lineup, Edwin Encarnacion.
80 pitches. You can see the strike ball ratio not where Marquis wants it. Usually 2 strikes to every ball thrown.
A bullet fouled on the left field line. And remember, this is one night after Carl Pavano was knocked out after 4 innings by the Angels.
Well, take a look at the pitch right here, and you tell me whether they want that ball inside so they can pull the ball. That's why I said you go inside, you have to get even deeper. You saw that even though that ball was in middle in, Encarnacion able to get the barrel of the bat out quickly. So you have to establish down and away, and then if you go in off the plate. That's a foul ball right there. Good pitch inside.
Count holds at no balls, 2 strikes. 2 on, 2 out for Toronto. Marquis trying to keep the Twins in the game. They're trailing by 4 in the 4th.
Swarzak up again.
One ball, 2 strikes. Encarnacion drove in his 27th run earlier tonight. Leads the Jays with 10 home runs. Takes inside. Only 2 players have more home runs this season. Josh Hamilton with 14 and Matt Kemp with 12. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 on, 2 out. And a pop-up on the infield that should end it. Doman can't find it.
That baby's up there.
Marquis backpedaling, and it will drop. A run scores. And it's 6-1 Toronto.
Well, Domet did not find it, but Trevor Plouffe has to take charge. You want the pitcher out of the picture right there. And Marquis pulled away because I think he heard Trevor or something from either Trevor Plouffe or Brian Dozier. This baby's up there. Encarnacion upset. Domet does not see it. And here comes Trevor Plouffe. And the ball fell between them. It's a long single.
To the left side, Plouffe throws him out. And the inning is over, but not before the Twins and the Jays a run, and it's 6-1. Target field from our GoPro shot. What a fine ballpark. Ron Gardenhire cannot believe that Toronto scored a run last inning on a pop-up that landed 20 feet from home plate.
I think there's a story in baseball that Babe Ruth hit a ball like that, and he ran around the bases for an inside the park home run, and the ball fell in, just something like that. You saw Encarnacion. He was pretty upset. He was mad at himself, and he ended up picking up a second RBI, now with 28 on the year on that. I guess you have to rule it a base hit.
It's a base hit, and the other two runners each advanced 2 bases on the play, which, to the Blue Jays' credit, they have run the bases well tonight.
Yeah, they really have. He pops this ball straight up. He's pretty upset right there. Boy, he missed his pitch. And you can see Domet doesn't see it. Marquis gives way, and the ball just falls in.
The run that Minnesota earned in the bottom of the third answered in the top of the fourth. Now Willingham leads off the bottom of the fourth. And those are the kind of plays that will drive Ron Gardenhire bananas. Getting beat is one thing, but not making plays you should make is the one thing for which he has very little patience. And the Twins have had a couple of them tonight. The ground ball to Plouffe, where he threw to second base, and Lexi Casilla, while stretching to make sure they got an out, didn't react fast enough to, again, Escobar taking an extra base on the play.
Yes. Yeah, you know what, and you can teach the game as well as Gardy and his coaching staff do, but they have to execute on the field, and we have not seen very good execution here tonight.
That might be a part of that discussion right there. Trevor Plouffe making just his second start of his career at third base. First one happened on the recent road trip in Anaheim. But I think Gardy would like to see him get more and more opportunity over there. So here Willingham draws a leadoff walk in the 4th.
Yeah, 3rd walk for Alvarez in the ball game.
Even when the game isn't on, you can still see all the plays and at-bats that matter most during Twins squeeze play, a 30-minute condensed version of select non-televised Twins games. Catch the action as the Twins battle the Indians Tuesday at 7 on Fox Sports North. That's the final game of this 9-game homestand that started with 3 against the Angels, now 4 against the Jays, and then Cleveland here on Monday and Tuesday. And now the Jays will adjust their infield again. Didn't do it on the first pitch to Domet.
Well, it's Lowry that is going out to short right field, the 3rd baseman.
And this time he will not go all the way out into right field, perhaps because there's a runner on first base. Remember the last time he was basically playing as a 4th outfielder. Here more like a deep first base.
Well, Domet tried to just bunt it toward 3rd base.
I just don't remember an opponent with more unique gimmick type defensive alignments against Minnesota.
No, I don't either.
If you include the 2 different versions we've seen against Domet, this is 4 bizarre defensive alignments for the Blue Jays. One ball, 2 strikes. Fouled back. And in each at bat, Domet has tried at least once to push a bunt up the 3rd base side, and in neither case was he able to execute. I guess that tells you the Blue Jays have the right report.
Well, and the thing is, they're pitching him away, and you know, he's just trying to pull the ball. There's some guys like, you know, Domet's always kind of been a power type guy, so to bunt is something that he's probably not accustomed to.
To the right side. 3rd baseman Lowry charges in from the right field grass to make the play to first base.
Yeah, they played it perfect right there. How many times do you play your 3rd baseman between 1st and 2nd? And do we write this down on your scorebook 5-3 or? Let's take a look right here. There's Lowry right there, and watch him come in on this kind of a swinging bunt. And you can see that Lind stays right there at first base, gets the out. But on the play, Willingham moves over to 2nd base.
If somebody was listening on the radio and heard you call that the 3rd baseman Lowry charges in from the right field grass, Plouffe grounds one into left field. Willingham will be held at 3rd base, and the Twins have him on the corners with 1 out for Eric Komatsu.
Well, Trevor Plouffe jumped on that first pitch and lined it into left field. And Willingham, not the quickest. And he picked up Steve Little right away and held up at 3rd base. The ball got out to the left fielder very quickly. Good solid swing right there by Trevor Plouffe.
Komatsu had a bunt hit his first time up. Chance for the Twins to climb back in the game, trailing 6-1 here in the bottom of the 4th. Ball 1. It appears that Jason Marquis' night is complete. And he'll be the 2nd consecutive Twin starter to go just 4 innings. Anthony Swarzak continues to throw in the Minnesota bullpen. Up the middle. Tag for 1. Throw to first. Double play. And another fundamental mistake by Plouffe as he runs right into the tag for the double play.
We go all the way to the foul line? Okay. I'm doing this? Oh, my God. Whoop. Little slop.
It's all right.
Sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
I was wondering why the catcher's box looked out of whack tonight. Dick Bramer on the grounds crew for a day here at Target Field. And he has literally helped out with just about every aspect of field prep. He'll be with us in our post-game instructional along with head groundskeeper Larry DeVito to go through the process of getting the field ready for tomorrow. This grounds crew's night does not end when the game ends, as they begin the prep for tomorrow's second game tonight.
You saw Anthony Swarzak coming into the ballgame, second straight night that a starter has struggled. Pavano last night, here Marquis tonight, and that puts more pressure on that bullpen.
Last night Burnett 2 and Dunsing 3 out of the pen for Minnesota, and it looks like Swarzak will be the candidate tonight to be stretched out a bit in hopes of saving the rest of the bullpen into the weekend series.
Yeah, Swarzak here worked on Monday night against the Angels through an inning and 2/3, 34 pitches.
Inside, 2 balls and a strike. Lowry, Rasmus, and Lind for the Blue Jays in the 5th. Lowry has 2 hits and 2 runs batted in tonight. Off speed pitch, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Let's take a look. Swarzak right here with a little cut fastball like slider.
Got him with a fastball in the inner half.
Yeah, good fastball inside.
Lowry out on strikes. Let's check in with our grounds crew worker Dick Bramer with his boss Larry DeVito.
That's right, Larry. Now this is your chair here. You're right by the visiting on deck circle. What are you looking for over the course of a game?
Well, early in the game, we're looking at the pitcher's landing foot, making sure he's comfortable with the mound. The hitters, how are they digging in the box, making sure, looking at the player's body language, that they're comfortable with the field. And throughout the game, just looking at how the ball's bouncing, how the field's playing, just the conditions in the field.
Well, this has been a very impressive day for me, for your staff, and what a great job they do. Many men and women getting this field ready for a baseball game.
Yeah, I've been very lucky with our hiring the first few years here. We've got a great deal of experience, and we bring in some new people too and train them. So we've had a great pool of workers. So,
you got me for just today. This is it.
I know. I think we'll make do, but we appreciate your help.
Guys, back upstairs.
I wonder if he'll hand Dick his walking papers immediately after our postgame show.
Oh, I guarantee it. There, guarantee it's coming. Rasmus lining a base hit into left center. Picks up his second hit, and for the Jays, it's their 8th.
Adam Lind will hit. 1 on, 1 out. Strike 1 from Swarzak. Lind is twice grounded to first base. Popped up into short center field. Span making the call and the catch. The first DQ cap night of 2012 is coming up on Saturday night. The first 20,000 fans at the 6:10 game against Toronto will receive the cool red and white Twins cap courtesy of DQ. Every Saturday, the Twins Community Fund hosts a Split the Pot raffle, a chance for you to help raise valuable dollars for local charities and maybe leave the game with hundreds of dollars in winnings. Tickets are available for Saturday night. Call 833-TWINS right now or visit twinsbaseball.com. Saturday, you can see the Twins debut of P.J. Walters.
Yeah, Walters just getting called up as Francisco Liriano is shipped out to the bullpen. Matt Maloney designated for assignment. That opened up a spot for Walters. Good numbers down in Rochester.
Lifted in the air to right field. Komatsu over toward the line is there for the catch. And the inning is over. Swarzak flanks the Jays 4.5, 6-1 Toronto.
Winner's Circle. I'm joined by 4 soldiers, and I've got $100 here in Minnesota State Lottery tickets going to Marie Whalen here, who's from Granite Falls, Minnesota. All these ladies and gentlemen are based in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Bert, look at this sign right here. Circle us, Bert, before we circle you. And they got a target on you right there in your famous T-shirt. Marie, you made this shirt. You've been circled by Bert. Is your night complete now?
My year is complete.
Her year is complete. She just got back from overseas in December, Bert, and this is their first trip, all 4 of them, here to Target Field.
Hey, Robbie, tell them it is my honor to circle them.
Bert says it's his honor to circle you.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
He says thank you. She says thank you. And the rest of the guys say thank you, Bert.
I hope they hit their target. Mastriani makes his second Twins plate appearance. Tapped out to the catcher his first time up.
Yeah, Mastriani started the year in Double-A in New Britain, then called up to Triple-A, where he just tore it up. Hit .346 down in Triple-A.
Into right field. Playable for Bautista. Mastriani and P.J. Walters arrived this week from Rochester. See Mastriani's numbers, .346 at Triple-A. As we mentioned, P.J. Walters will start on Saturday. And great conversation with Mastriani today. He made his major league debut last August with Toronto. Was called up for 1 day.
August 24th, yep.
And the Blue Jays thought they might have to make a move to the disabled list and would create a spot. He arrived as an insurance policy. They didn't have to make the move, but they made a trade for Kelly Johnson, and they were short a man on the roster for 1 day. So he played in the game, had a couple of at-bats against Kansas City, and then went back to the minors the next morning.
Yeah, he told me he went 0 for 2, but he also had to lay down a bunt. And he said he was more nervous on that bunt than he'd ever been in his life. I have to get this down. He's able to get that sacrifice bunt down. So good to see him back at the major league level, now wearing a Twins uniform.
I asked him if the call-up surprised him, and he said, well, it surprised me in that my start this season was so slow. He was promoted to Rochester despite an amazingly slow start at New Britain. He was just 5 for 35 with 11 strikeouts. But because of injury, they moved him up anyway to AAA. And he said, once I got there, I was swinging it well, and I was hoping that they'd be noticing.
Yeah, 6 seasons in the minor leagues and a .280 career hitter. Not a lot of power, but a lot of speed and a lot of enthusiasm. That's what I think helped him come up too, because they said he was just running all over the place and a great guy to hopefully bring up some extra energy.
Stole 34 bases in 44 tries last year, 46 the year before that, and 70 in 2009. Swing and a miss by Casilla. And there are 2 out with nobody on.
That's the first strikeout for Alvarez.
Our Sanford Health injury report in the American League Central. Jonathan Sanchez placed on the disabled list. See his numbers: 6.75 ERA in 6 starts. Royals 6 games out in the Central. Minnesota 9 games out. Cleveland continues to lead the Tigers by 2. Swing and a miss by Span. Seen a couple of bad swings by the Twins in this inning. Is that an indication of the sinker starting to work for Alvarez?
Yeah, Alvarez coming into the inning, 10 ground ball outs, only 1 pop up, and that was to Lind at first base. That fly ball by Master Ronnie, that was the first fly ball to the outfield, and here's a second one. And they're both caught by Batista.
Twins go in order in the 5th and still trail 6-1.
We are taking on the Blue Jays on Friday. Do have that threat for a spotty shower into the evening hours. Not everyone's going to get wet. First pitch temperature at 59. Winds out of the northwest between 7 to 14 miles per hour.
Well, what a night tonight. 67 degrees. Slight breeze.
Perfect baseball weather, isn't it?
Only thing that would make it better is if the 6 was on the other side.
Right.
6-1 Toronto after 5. Johnson, Escobar, and Bautista will hit for the Blue Jays here in the 6th.
Anthony Swarzak starting his second inning of relief. 11 pitches in that first inning.
Swarzak last inning able to do what Marquis struggled with all night, and that was work ahead. One ball, one strike. Fouled away, and it's 1-2. Swarzak again this year, bouncing from the starting rotation to the bullpen. Perhaps back again. Last year made 27 appearances, 11 starts, 16 relief appearances. This year 3 starts and now 6 appearances out of the pen.
Oh, good high fastball right there. Swarzak picks up his second strikeout.
Let's once again check in with our groundskeeper for a day, Dick Kramer.
And I'm with Craig Edwards, the meteorologist here at Target Field, and it doesn't look like it's going to rain for the next week, but you're watching something out in the Dakotas, right?
Yeah, we're looking at a fast-moving cool front that's headed our way, so we're already seeing showers and thunder showers develop. We're using the short-term models. We can see how that is going to be depicted at midnight tonight. It's going to be already up to the western border. So this is a simulation of where the rainfall is expected at midnight. This is a simulation at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. So the question is, do we need to put the tarp on tonight? Larry doesn't like 5 a.m. surprises with showers. So the call we're going to have to make before I leave is whether it's going to be a smart move to put the tarp on the field tonight.
All right. Well, it looks beautiful out there, but even on a beautiful night, you might need to put the tarp on for the next game, right?
Yeah, it looks that way because game tomorrow, we don't want to have a field that's soggy. So maybe a quarter of an inch of rain overnight and into the afternoon tomorrow. Hopefully the rain will end before game time tomorrow.
All right. We'll hope to not have the tarp on the field when we show up tomorrow afternoon, guys.
But it seems like a great plan to put the tarp on tonight before they leave.
You know, and the new technology of what that guy's doing right there is unbelievable. It's such a beautiful ballpark. But, you know, a couple times I was told already, Larry DeVito, you know, he gets up at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, and if it's cloudy or rainy out, he's got to hustle down here. And one time, I guess somebody lives close by him. It was just 2 guys that laid the tarp because there was rain in the forecast.
Escobar at first with 1 out.
Escobar getting that base hit, his 3rd.
He's running.
Good.
Domit's throw got him at second base. Escobar has been a handful on the base paths tonight, but here Domit erases him trying to steal.
Yeah, nice pitch right there by Swarzak, and it looked like Batista trying to protect him a little bit, but a good throw by Domit. And watch this little short hop right here by Casilla. In his glove, and then applies the tag.
So the base is empty for Bautista, who hits one high in the air to left. Mastriani calls and makes the catch. Another quick inning for Swarzak. Winsfield trail by 5. For the Coors Light freeze cam, Joe Mauer at the plate. Blue Jays play him to pull on the ground, but to the opposite field in the outfield. Then with Josh Willingham at the plate, they play him to pull all the way around, and the same when Ryan Domit's at the plate, and it pays off for Domit, who hits a ground ball right at the third baseman playing in short right field.
You know, you have to give a lot of credit to Brian Butterfield right there, the third base coach, but also positioning everybody. Well, they didn't position that right because Brian Dozier hit it up the middle.
Dozier with a leadoff single here in the 6th inning. And Joe Mauer will hit. fourth big league hit for Dozier. Twins have had some chances to score tonight, but have hit into 2 double plays. Have lost a runner trying to advance to third base. Bauer takes a strike, a walk, and a ground ball to second. 0 for 1. Off the plate away, 1 ball, 1 strike. The Jays have helped out a bit with a couple of walks and 2 throwing errors.
Oh, we've seen a lot of movement. That pitch right there just down and away. Alvarez already with a couple strikeouts. Or excuse me, double plays. 1 strikeout in the ballgame, 3 walks.
Up the middle, could be 2. Johnson to the bag for 1. On to first, a double play. Third of the game for Toronto.
Alvarez now 12 ground ball outs to go with 3 fly ball outs. That sinker. I'm sure that's what he did against the Angels too when he pitched that shutout in his last start. Alvarez went for that ball, but Johnson stepping on the bag and then flipping it over to first for the double play.
Willingham will hit with the bases empty. Mentioned earlier, Alvarez's numbers in his last 3 starts. The shutout in Anaheim, the most recent, but very impressive. 1.23 ERA. Willingham swings and puts a charge into this one. It is a home run. Second consecutive night with a long ball for Willingham, his 7th of the year.
You know, we saw that in early April when Josh Willingham kind of got hot and hit 5 home runs in a short amount of time, a couple weeks. Well, he had not hit one since April 17th against CC Sabathia up until last night. And then here, got a fastball and a good solid swing. Home run number 7 on the year for Josh Willingham. And it's a 6-2 ball game.
Gomez takes a strike.
Well, you can see how good Alvarez has been. First earned run allowed in 20 innings.
The start for Willingham continues to impress. Fouled away by Domet. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Short left field. Thames with plenty of room makes the catch, and the Twins are out in the 6th. Willingham's home run cuts the Toronto lead to 6-2. It's been a strange night at the ballpark. Trevor Plouffe smothers this ball. Lexi Casilla slow back to his feet, and the Blue Jays score a run.
You know, Anthony, we have just seen some a bad Twins baseball here tonight. Blue Jays have made a couple errors. The Twins scored a run there, and this ball right here drops it on that turf for an RBI for Encarnacion. Anthony Swarzak starting his third inning of relief. So far, so good. 2 shutout innings.
Been some strange ones tonight for certain. Jays hitting the 7th. Encarnacion, Thames, and Lowry against right-hander Anthony Swarzak on for his third inning of relief. One ball, one strike.
Encarnacion in his 4th season with the Blue Jays, 8th major league season, came up with the Reds back in 2005. Traded over to the Blue Jays from the Reds for Scott Rowland.
Set his previous career high for home runs with the Reds in 2008 when he hit 26. His current pace right now would double that. Long way to go, but after Toronto watched Jose Bautista the last couple of years, it certainly doesn't seem impossible. Nice backhand pickup by Dozier. And Encarnacion retired to start the 7th.
And a strong throw to go with that. We saw that the other night against the Angels. Dozier going to his right and then almost sliding into that ball. Pops straight up. Watch here. Slides into it. Pops straight up. Winds up and throws a P over to Mauer for the quick out. Nice defensive play by Dozier.
Thames takes strike 1, hitless tonight, although he did drive in a run with a fly ball in the first. Dozier has impressed 4 games into his big league career. He hasn't shown anything that makes it look like he's out of place here.
Oh, he looks very comfortable at short. You know, the Twins, of course, Jamie Carroll played there up until Dozier got called up, and he played a great shortstop too. But the Twins feel that Jamie Carroll, who's not in the lineup tonight for the first time this year, just getting a night off, but he did a great job at short. But Dozier, the youngster, Jamie Carroll, 38 years old. This is a future shortstop for the Minnesota Twins. That's the way the Twins feel.
And Carroll gives them some versatility because in his career, he's played the other infield spots. In fact, coming into this season, he had played more at both second base and third base than he had at short. Follow the Twins with MLB.com at BAT12 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, or Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and much more. Text at BAT to 31826 or visit twinsbaseball.com for details.
Swarzak picking up his 3rd strikeout, looking for a 1-2-3 inning. It would be the first for the second for the Twins here tonight. Jason Marquis had a 1-2-3 second inning.
Fouled back. Lowry has a couple of RBI singles tonight. Base is empty with 2 out. Ron Gardner was talking about Jamie Carroll before the game tonight and said that he had continued to ask Carroll how he felt, ready to go, and finally the trainers came to him and said he's never going to tell you he needs a day off, so you're just going to have to pick the day to rest him because he needs a day off at some point. And Gardy said, so I went to him and told him tonight's the night.
A pretty good pitch right here by Swarzak. Watch his reaction. Ball down a little bit. Boy.
Fox
Good
Tracks
pitch.
brought to you by Carrier. 3-2. Into right field. Komatsu barely has to move. Swarzak shuts him down in the 7th. Stretch time, 6-2 Blue Jays.
On Fox Sports North is brought to you by McDonald's. Right now, you can get 20 crispy chicken McNuggets for just $4.99 at McDonald's. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T. Rethink possible.
Henderson Alvarez back to work in the bottom of the 7th for Toronto. He'll face Plouffe, Komatsu, and Mastriani. Plouffe checks his swing, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Plouffe had one of the 6 Minnesota hits in the 4th inning. Our CenturyLink high-speed pitch of the night, the top speeds reached by the 2 starting pitchers. Alvarez 97, Marquis topped out at 91.
Well, a good hard slider right there, down and away, and Alvarez picking up his 2nd strikeout. Alvarez with 92 pitches in the ballgame, 60 for strikes. And there's that 3-to-2 ratio I was talking about. But boy, this young man, only 22 years old, making just his 17th major league start. Pretty impressive.
We talked about it early with stuff that has been apparently unhittable at some points during the game tonight. His strikeout and walk numbers are remarkably low, and that has been the case for him most of the year.
Well, you can see he relies on that good sinker. Once in a while he struck out Plouffe on a pretty good look like slider down and away, but he relies on quick outs, and that's why, even in his shutout that he had against the Angels, he kept the pitch count under 100 at 97 pitches. So trying to get some quick outs.
He'll be higher than that tonight, as this is 95th pitch of the night.
He had 2 big innings. In the first inning, 21 pitches, then 10, 20, 16, 11, and 10 last inning.
Komatsu sneaks one through, and the Twins will have a 1-out runner here in the 7th, just out of the reach of Escobar at short. For complete coverage of the final passage of the Vikings Stadium bill and fan reaction Log on to FoxSportsNorth.com. Ryan Hall's had it covered from the start in what has been a wild week for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, that ball hit by Komatsu. I think Escobar, maybe a little bit of a knuckleball or something, but it looked like he was going to catch it, and the ball trickled off his glove. Komatsu gets a base hit, his second of the ball game.
Mastriani takes one just off the plate away. Komatsu at first with one out of the seventh. Strike on the inside corner.
Luis Perez, one of two left-handers in the bullpen for John Farrell.
Into right field and playable for Bautista. 2 out. Make plans to spend your Mother's Day with the Twins as they wrap up this series with the Blue Jays on Sunday. The first 10,000 female fans will receive a pink twin scarf courtesy of Pepsi. This Sunday is the big day. The game is set for 1:10. Bring Mom to Target Field by calling 833-TWINS or visiting twinsbaseball.com. Alexi Castillo with a single to left and a run scored in the third inning. He struck out in the fifth.
Well, look like on that bunt right there, he tried to do what Ibar did, kind of just hit it over the head of the third baseman. Kind of tried to poke it over that way.
Komatsu leads from first with 2 out. Little tap. Alvarez scoops it up and throws him out. The Twins are down in the seventh. Toronto is still in command. We move into the 8th inning. Time to answer our AT&T trivia question. What visiting player has the most home runs at Target Field?
Mr. Bautista.
7 of them in only 7 games.
Well, remember last year he had that 3 home run ball game here. And I believe he had 5 in the series, in that 3-game series.
Well, Encarnacion's not far behind. He has 5 home runs in his career in this ballpark in also 7 games.
Glenn Perkins coming into the ball game. Great job by Anthony Swarzak. 3 shutout innings. Allowed only 2 hits. Had 3 strikeouts. Another short start by a Twin starter puts more pressure on that bullpen.
And certainly makes the relief work from Burnett and Dunsing last night stand out because it did not force Ron Gardenhire to burn through his bullpen. They're still hoping to give Francisco Liriano one more day before using him, although he did say if needed he was available tonight. Tonight it was Swarzak with 3 very good innings out of the bullpen. And now Perkins will face Rasmus Lind and Aaron Sibia in the 8th. Fouled away.
Perkins, of course, very good fastball, hard slider, and occasional changeup.
Foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. First of a 4-game series between the teams. Tomorrow night, Nick Blackburn against Kyle Drabek. Saturday, P.J. Walters makes his Twins debut. He, like Mastriani, made his major league debut with Toronto. Scott Diamond will face Ricky Romero in the series finale on Sunday. Three balls, 2 strikes. Rasmus looking for his 3rd hit of the night. And Perkins walked him to start the 8th. If you act today, you can get a steal of a deal when the Twins host the Cleveland Indians on May 14th. For a limited time, you can get Skyline View tickets for just $13. This deal against the Indians is available by logging on to twinsbaseball.com. While you're at it, check out all the great ticket offers for May games at Target Field. It is unbelievable as you walk around this ballpark, and it's in its 3rd season, but you still see fans venturing out, taking a look at the views from the different angles of the park. I had a chance to do that during the last homestand and just spent a couple of innings walking the park. And as you look at the downtown skyline from the left field line seats, or you go and watch a game from out on the higher decks in left field, it's amazing the way that they've structured this to create all those different vantage points.
Yeah, this is the 3rd year at Target Field, and you know, a lot of these fans coming maybe for the first time. Remember, the Twins were in that Metrodome for 28 seasons, so outdoor baseball is something beautiful here in Minnesota, especially on nights like tonight. You know, I was just looking at the ages of, you mentioned Kyle Drabek, and then Drew Hutchinson, and then Ricky Romero. Tonight's starter, Henderson Alvarez, 22 years old. Drabek, 24. Hutchinson, who's going to pitch here on Saturday, 21 years old. The old man of the staff is Ricky Romero at 27. A very young staff for John Farrell, who was a pitcher himself, mainly in the Cleveland Indian organization, a teammate of mine, that you know, knows the importance of young pitchers to step up. There's Ricky Romero right there. He is an outstanding pitcher.
They'll need it
in the staff. And Brendan Morrow, also very young.
And they'll need it in that division. It's such a brutal schedule when you face those teams the number of times they do every year, and you have to wade through the lineups that you'll see year in, year out in New York and Boston and Tampa Bay. And now even Baltimore. The Orioles much improved this year.
Yeah, Tampa Bay has a very young staff, but not as young as the Toronto Blue Jays. So they want to get back in to compete against the Boston Red Sox and New York Yankees. It's going to have to be starting pitching. And same thing for the Twins. Twins have some veterans like Pavano and Marquis, 2 starters the last couple of nights, but you give opportunities to a guy like Scott Diamond, and you hope that he can repeat what he did the other night.
Called third, and Perkins gets Lind for the first out of the 8th inning.
Yeah, Lind's struggles continue. 0 for 4 in this ball game. This breaking ball right here kind of froze him, and then he was a little upset, maybe a little more discouraged that he didn't swing at it, but it ended up being strike 3.
That's that high strike to which we referred earlier today. Fouled away. The umpires being evaluated electronically, and Joe Vavra used the term calling the box, trying to call pitches that land in the digital box, just like we see with Fox Tracks. And
now, Anthony, when we were in New York, I know Dick came down to the meeting we had with the umpires, and they say there's a 2-inch margin in that box that they look at, and last year they rated the umpires, and 95% of all the umpires that were judged were in that box. 95%. That's pretty good.
It is good, and even Joe Vavra referred to that. He said they'll call a game and they'll be right 93% of the time. But when you think about it, that's still a lot of pitches that you miss in a game. If you call, say, 250 pitches perhaps for the two teams, you're talking about missing on 20 pitches over the course of a game, and that can really swing a number of at-bats.
Yeah,
now,
you just hope that those, a handful of pitches, 2 handful of pitches doesn't cost you a ball game.
Right. But the point is being that this year he felt they were calling a higher strike because of the way they were being evaluated on this box, that was prompting them. And we saw it right there. That's a pitch. That was 4 or 5 inches above the belt of Lind.
That is supposed to be. It's supposed to be the letters to the knees.
It is, but it's been a lot of years since it was called that high.
Yes, I agree.
Kelly Johnson.
But as a pitcher, believe me, you don't want to pitch around the letters. If you could sneak one in there once in a while. I remember many years ago, I was with the Twins. We were in spring training, Orlando, Florida. Durwood Merrill came in, and at that time, this had to be 87, maybe 88, maybe 87. They're going to call the higher strike. And Durwood had a meeting with all of us. And he said, you know what, Bert? He says, letter high fastball. I'm going to call it strike 1, strike 2, but gosh, it's hard for me to call that strike 3. And I said, Durwood, don't give us strike 1, strike 2 then. Perkins settles down, strikes the next 3 batters out.
Our post-game show brought to you by CenturyLink. Going to talk about the fundamentals. The Blue Jays executed them today, at least through the first 7.5 innings. We'll have Gardy's press conference and different kind of an instructional here. We're going to have head groundskeeper Larry DeVito out in front of home plate. We're going to talk about the big difference between the Metrodome, where the dirt was compacted so hard there were a lot of chopped base hits, to the softer dirt in front of home plate here at Target Field. So stay tuned for that.
Hey, Dick, I was hoping that we would go over about how to put a bag, like the third base bag, into the ground.
Why would we do that? Because I had a hard time doing it. Now, I got sabotaged on that because one of the guys from the grounds crew put some extra tape on the stem of the base so it wouldn't go into the hole.
Sure. You look like you're struggling there a little bit.
I'll let you do it.
Yeah, look at your replacement guy slid it right in.
Yeah, see that? I hope you had a great time today.
Oh, it's been a lot of fun, and Larry's ground crew here has just been great. They're professionals. I'm amateurs, and I want to thank them for letting me be a part of the day here.
See Rick Anderson talking with Glenn Perkins, who walked the leadoff man, then came back to get 3 consecutive strikeouts. Bill Welke, the home plate umpire, went to the mound as the Blue Jays were in the midst of making a pitching change, and instructed and drew a little bit of, looked like a little ire from John Farrell when he said, your pitcher has to take his sleeves off. Now he's explaining things to JP Arancibia, the catcher. Now this is after a couple of warm-up tosses, and he says you're going to have to go take the sleeves off. Now he's back, and can you tell the difference? You know what it is? It's there's
a white line
in there, right?
Right.
So now he's got the solid color sleeves.
Don't want to deceive that hitter now.
Well, you had the sleeves with that were white with the red laces stitched in them, didn't you?
I was trying to wear everything white. My white glove, everything. Throw everything at him. Oh, that pitcher is Luis Perez. There's the difference right there. Just the whiteness, I guess, on the sleeves right there. That thought that the hitters may pick that up. To the conventional all blue sleeve.
Well, the rule says you can't have anything that's two-tone hanging beneath your jersey.
Well, I remember for a while there, a lot of guys were wearing necklaces that were shiny and stuff like that. They made that everybody take all that their jewelry off. And this copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC. Perez, in his second season with the Toronto Blue Jays last year, made 4 starts in 37 appearances, 3-3. Record, a very high 5.10 ERA. Now strictly out of that bullpen, where he's done a very good job. 12 appearances. He's 2-1 with a 2.81 earned run average. 5 walks in 16 innings pitched, but 15 strikeouts.
He'll face the top of the lineup for Minnesota in the 8th. Span, Dozier, Mauer. Top of the lineup here in the 8th, you get the feeling like the Twins would have to at least take a bite out of this lead if they're going to have a shot in the ninth.
Yeah, Perez with a fastball. That one clocked at 93. Also a slurve type slider and a changeup. Occasional curveball. Another fastball at 93. Good strike 2.
Span with an infield hit and a walk tonight. One ball, 2 strikes.
Kind of hurried his delivery right there rather than lifting the leg. He kind of did a little short, kind of quick motion toward home. There's Lariano starting to throw a little bit. He may get the 9th inning.
Twins anxious to see if moving him to the bullpen can help simplify the game for him. And instead of worrying about how deep he can get in the game and how many pitches he's throwing, just come in, throw hard, and let it rip for an inning and see what happens. Span retired on a ground ball to short.
Yeah, do like he did in Baltimore. Remember in Baltimore, he faced 3 batters, struck him out on all 3 pitches, and I believe he threw 10, 11 pitches in a 1-2-3 inning.
Well, the question was asked to Gardy why you would rather move Liriano to the bullpen here than send him to AAA and allow him to continue to start. And his answer was interesting in that he said if he went down to AAA where hitters tend to chase more, he would probably blow them away without refining his stuff. They'd be swinging at pitches that guys just won't chase at this level. We'd rather see him in the bullpen, pitch to major league hitters on a nightly basis, and pitch where we can watch him every time out rather than just get reports on what he's doing against AAA hitters.
And you also wonder, does Liriano have to okay going down to AAA because of his tenure? Liriano in his 7th season with the Twins. So major league time, I think Liriano, if he were to be sent down, it's kind of what Jason Marquis had to go through to go down and start the season in the minor leagues because of the illness or the accident to his daughter.
Dozier takes a called 3rd strike, and Joe Mauer will hit with the bases empty.
Well, Perez picking up a strikeout. And there's that on Fox Tracks that says it's high, but it's belt high.
Mauer takes a strike. Liriano has stopped throwing for Minnesota, so it does not look like he'll be the man to get the 9th. Foul down the left field line, and Mauer is down in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Jeff Gray throwing for Minnesota. Isn't it amazing when you're struggling a bit at the plate how it seems like you're 0-2 in every at bat?
Well, Joe does not mind being 0-2, but there he does. Swings at a pitch out of the strike zone and strikes out.
Stay tuned for the Gander Mountain weekend weather update for Twins territory. For Ron Gardenhire and his staff as they continue to turn over the roster. Eric Komatsu just arrived. He doesn't pick up third base coach Steve Little and gets thrown out at third base. And Steve Little takes the opportunity to do a little teaching in the dugout later in the game. On a mile-high pop-up, nobody takes charge. Third baseman Trevor Plouffe backs away from it, and Ron Gardenhire wants to make sure that he's aware of the way they'd like to see this play made.
Well, you got to realize a lot of these guys just trying to get their feet wet at the major league level. Mistakes are going to happen, but it just looked like ugly mistakes, and that's bad for a ball club like the Twins where they're at right now at 8-22. You know, you can get away with that if you're the Yankees or you're a ball club that's, you know, winning right now, but when you're struggling and then you have plays like that happen, the fans pay good money to see good baseball, and here tonight on the Twins side it was not very good baseball. Here's Jeff Gray.
We'll talk much more about the job ahead for this coaching staff with some of these young players arriving in our post-game show. Kevin Gorg and Roy Smalley on Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. That follows our game broadcast tonight. And remember, we'll be hitting the field for our instructional, but we won't be bringing any gloves and bats with us. It'll be rakes and drags.
And your muscle. You may have to get help out to pull the tarp on. But you're not dressed like Dick is, so I'd leave it up to Dick.
I'll let him do it. He's an expert now. He's been at it for 12 hours. Back through the middle and a base hit. Escobar is aboard. That's 4 hits and a walk.
Yeah.
Escobar.
What a night for Escobar. He walked in his first plate appearance. He has scored 3 runs and now has 4 singles.
Talked about this a little bit earlier, Bert. The most home runs by a visiting player at Target Field. Bautista, 7 of them in just 7 games. Encarnacion not far behind. What's truly amazing is when you take a look at the all-time numbers, I mean, including home players, there aren't very many who have more home runs here than Bautista. Only Jim Thome, Michael Kadire, Danny Valencia, and Jason Kubel have more home runs in this ballpark than Jose Bautista, who has played 7 games here.
Right. As I mentioned earlier, the Jays have out-homered the Twins the last 2 seasons, 38-14. And they've outscored them 103-48. And they're up 6-2 here tonight.
2005 was the last time the Twins either out-homered the Jays in the season series or won the season series. They did both that year. One ball, 2 strikes the count against Jose Bautista. Way outside.
Just a bit outside. That'll be a wild pitch.
What's amazing about some of those numbers, Bert, is that we're not talking about Twins clubs that struggled like the 2011 Twins did. I mean, from 2006 and on, the Twins had division championship teams. They've had playoff teams. Been in the postseason 3 of those years and lost a game 163, another of them. And yet, for whatever reason, this Toronto club has just been a very difficult matchup for them.
They really have. I mean, like you mentioned, they just they play good fundamental baseball, and they have a lot of power.
Casilla in short right center field makes a catch. Here are those numbers, Bert, going back to 2006. The advantage that Toronto has in the home run department, and then winning the season series each year. 2010 out-homered the Twins 25-11 in 9 games.
Yeah, there's that 38-14 over the last 2 years. But you know what? It's a ball club that I think has always had a lot of power. You go back to Carlos Delgado, you know, Fred McGriff, those type of guys, Sean Green. They had a lot of power, and you know, the Twins, they don't have that type of power. They're more of a, you know, especially what's on the field now, more of a line drive, you know, got to hustle from first to third, and we got to do little things to score runs. and you miss a guy like Justin Morneau in that lineup, boy, that takes a lot of the punch out of the lineup. Good breaking ball right there by Gray, and Encarnacion takes a little walk.
They're a team built for their ballpark. It's a homer-friendly park in Toronto. Here Jeff Gray trying to escape the ninth with no further damage. Twins trailing by 4. They've been looking up at the Blue Jays all night after Toronto scored 2 in the top of the first and added 3 in the third. One ball, 2 strikes.
Well, Jason Marquis started this ball game. He gave up 6 runs in 4 innings. Anthony Swarzak, 3 shutout innings. Great job. Perkins, 1 shutout inning. Jeff Gray trying to keep the score at 6-2. Man on second, 1 out. Make it 2.
And Eric Thames will be the hitter.
Oh, good breaking ball right here. And Encarnacion swinging through that almost like a cutter, slider down and away. And Gomez backhanded it. Gray's done a good job out of that bullpen. Came in very good, 2.13 ERA in 12 2/3 innings pitched.
Thames takes inside, ball 1. Activity in the Toronto bullpen. Moreno throwing. Frazier was throwing. He just took a seat. Imagine that Frazier just getting loose in the event the Twins get something started in the ninth. If the lead remains at 4, it appears we'll instead see Moreno. Into center field. Span going back. Short of the warning track. He makes the catch. And the inning is over. Bottom of the ninth coming. Twins down by 4. The Coors Light cold hard blast was Josh Willingham in his last at bat in the 6th inning.
Yeah, we can't say this too often, but it looks like the Twins tonight have out-homered the Toronto Blue Jays. Something that the Toronto Blue Jays have hit a home run against every game against the Twins over the last 16 games. So Blue Jays, even though they lead 6-2, have not hit a home run here tonight. Alvarez looking for his third major league or third win this season, his fourth major league win. 7 very good innings, 7 hits allowed, 2 runs, 1 earned, and 3 walks and a couple strikeouts. Jason Frazier coming out of the bullpen.
And then one area that has been a point of concern for Toronto this year is closing games. This is not a save situation, but they're just 5 for 12 in save situations this year. And in that division, you can't afford to let that many winnable games get away.
Well, they made that trade with Chicago. Sergio Santos was supposed to be their closer, but he's currently on a disabled list. And Francisco Cordero has some save opportunities. Jansen has a save. So it's kind of a savior by committee right now. And Jason Frazier has never really been. It was a closer, saver about 4 or 5 years ago, but you know, he's that type of pitcher that can pitch a 7th, 8th inning. Very, very consistent. Last year with the Chicago White Sox, after being traded by Toronto back in 2000 last year, and then came back again. So his second step back with the Blue Jays, re-signed as a free agent over the winter.
Fouled back by Willingham. He stays alive at no balls and 2 strikes.
Frazier in his 9th major league season. 34-year-old right-hander, not a tall guy, about 5'9", 180 pounds, but he's got a pretty good fastball. In the low 90s, sweeping slider. And he'll mix in a circle changeup. See him putting that little split finger right there. Something that Matt Capps came up with. Well, there it is right there, just down in the strike zone.
Now 1 ball, 2 strikes. Domet and Plouffe will follow for Minnesota.
Hey, real quick, we have that Parkinson's walk on Saturday, and I just got a text that we are over $105,000 already raised for Parkinson's on that walk for Saturday. So if you get a chance, Hyde Park in Plymouth, come out and join us. Starts at 10 o'clock. The walk.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
No running, walking.
And you don't have to eat any insects or anything?
No, not for this one. No night crawlers. But they are good. They are edible. Protein.
Swing and a miss. And Willingham is out on strikes. Dick Bramer on the grounds crew for the night here at Target Field, and he helped prepare the warning track prior to game action here tonight.
So forward, reverse. You probably won't do much reverse.
I hope not.
There's the throttle. I think you might have set a record.
For longest?
Fastest.
Fastest?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you were going.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, did I do a good job?
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay.
I always ask my dad that too when I mowed the lawn like in 30 seconds. You know, he'd come out, "You done already?" "Yeah, but did I do a good job?" Then he'd remow it, and I'd go play ball.
See, I was assuming that it was the veteran move that you'd go more slowly when you had that job, so you weren't the guy right, kind of like when you shag for BP, you stand next to somebody else so that you don't have to chase down quite as many.
I think what Dick did, he probably did it in 10 minutes because he knew he had a half-hour break.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Didn't want to cut on break time. He'll be finishing his night on our post-game instructional tonight as long as it doesn't fall during break time. Domet swings and hits one high in the air to right center field. Rasmus makes the call and the catch. 2 out. The Twins are down to their last out here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
And Lowry can go back from right field over to third base again. Unusual shifts that we've seen here tonight, but it's paid off.
Trevor Plouffe, single in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 3. takes a strike. And now it's 1-1. Anxious to hear what Ron Gardenhire has to say after this one. You can hear that in our postgame show. A lot of teaching opportunities with some of these young players.
Well, he's got a very good coaching staff, Anthony, to do that. But Twins did not play very good baseball here tonight.
Another short start. This one from Jason Marquis, who's been very good for the Twins so far this season, but tonight was able to go just 4 innings, a night after Carl Pavano went just 4. The 1-2 pitch. Popped him up. And it's in the seats. Kloof stays alive, representing the last chance for Minnesota. The 1-2 got him looking. Kloof called out on strikes, and Minnesota falls to Toronto. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Henderson Alvarez, 7 very good innings for Toronto.
Wow, he was everything that I was told about. A sinker baller that gets a lot of ground ball outs. 3 double plays turned for him here tonight. He wins his 3rd game of the year.
Kevin Gorg, the Blue Jays start this 4-game series with a decisive 6-2 win tonight.